Boys, we're going to turn back time. Lift the cloche.
Very, very excited for this. The oldest port wine house.
Ooh, potential ingredients?
No, today we're going to explore 4 different food or drink items that come from way, way, way back as we travel back in time.
So is this a vintage port? It's 1975.
1975.
50 years ago, this is from 1975. Once you remove that cork and foil, what's inside is 50 years old and you're going to put it inside of you.
This is great. I want to build up to this. It's got a wax seal as well.
Lovely.
So you know it's historical.
Oh, there is something really exciting about opening a piece of history like this.
But yeah, because as soon as we open it, that single thing from that time period, and I imagine we'll be doing this throughout this video, is then ruined. You'll never get that first experience ever again, and this is 50 years old.
And we should stress, we're starting with something that is designed to be 50 years old. Somebody has been looking after it for this length of time, ready for you to now enjoy it.
How'd you open it?
Just pull up? Nope. How do I get in it? Oh, you got to carve it.
You need a friend.
So port, a fortified wine from Portugal. It has a history that dates back hundreds and hundreds of years. It kind of came about as a result of tariffs between different countries and imposing different tariffs on different countries, and therefore people changing products to meet said tariff or sourcing it from elsewhere. At the time, French wines were really popular. And then an introduction of a new tariff meant that Portugal was an alternative. Their wines needed fortifying and sweetening to become as luscious.
When you were a kid, did you ever do one of those capsules?
Time capsules.
Time capsules.
Buried something
bury it
somewhere.
and it, let it be opened by people from the future. We are those people from the future right now.
Oh, okay.
So you think of the person who bottled this.
Do you know what else happened in 1975?
Don?
Jamie Oliver was born and Bill Gates founded Microsoft. So these are all the same year as that. You are literally travelling back in time to those iconic moments with a taste of this.
Right. We're open. It's just deep and sweet.
For clarity, Ben, can you explain what we're holding right now? Because
I'll give you some port sippers. It feels appropriate for port. This is a tawny port, so it is aged and oxidised in barrels, so you get that tawny colour, as opposed to ruby port, which is really bright and vibrant.
I only took about 20 years off of it because I sealed it straight away.
Yeah.
So you suck it out this bit?
Yeah, you sip it. Port sipper. It's not a port sucker, it's a port sipper.
oh wow, that is so much more fruity than I was expecting.
Wow, yeah. It just tastes solid and quite complex. It is really sweet. You get that sort of alcohol-y that I've mentioned before.
So really aged ports like this, you get loads of tertiary flavours, often sort of honey and nuts and marzipan.
Yeah.
You get sometimes some cocoa or some coffee notes.
As you said, every single one of those, I got every single one of those in my mouth.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you don't know what you're tasting until someone reels off a list and then you start thinking you can taste them. Fact of the matter is, it's absolutely delicious. And the interesting thing about port is it's remarkably drinkable. You do think, oh, port, that sounds old. This one is old. But you also feel like, it's not going to be for me.
Yeah.
Chances are, if you like fruity stuff and booze, it will be for you.
And to be clear, you can go to supermarkets and buy that exact port house at about the 20-year mark, really very affordably and accessibly, and it's delicious. 50-year is quite special. Do you remember what the weather was doing in 1975?
It was probably not quite as hot.
All year?
Apparently a particularly good vintage because the weather delayed the harvest, which meant that they had to wait longer for the grapes to ripen on the vines and therefore more complex. So it is a particularly special vintage year. This brand, Kopke, has been around since 1638, so it's the oldest port wine house. And essentially, port is where the grapes start to ferment, but rather than letting the yeast eat all the sugar and turn it all into alcohol, 11, 12, 13, 14%, they stop it really early on. So there's loads of residual sugar left, and then they just add in grape spirit. So they just add in booze to fortify the wine. Because it is fortified, 17% or above, because it's got all that sugar in it, it ages and keeps really well. In this instance, 50 years, and we're now enjoying it in 2025. Trouble is, someone has been looking after it in very controlled conditions for 50 years. How much do you reckon we paid for it?
I don't know what the price of What's a standard bottle of port cost?
I'm thinking a higher end bottle of wine price as well.
£50?
Yeah, I'd say
£1 a year?
50 or 60.
£1 a year.
£1 a year doesn't feel like enough, does it?
It doesn't, but it's delicious. Is it £50 delicious? I love it.
They don't sell it in supermarkets because it's obviously too pricey. So I'm gonna say like £65.
Port is one of those wonderful things that you can also buy as a gift for someone to mark big birthdays. A 50th birthday can be marked with a 50-year-old bottle of port. It's quite a nice celebratory thing. Sometimes kids are gifted a bottle of port of their birth year and then they save it until a certain year to drink it. So it's a really nice standpoint in time. Yeah. But you need generous friends. That bottle's £129.
I completely understand that price. Would I pay for it? No.
What an amazing experience to get to taste it.
Yeah.
Well, with that in mind, I've got another amazing experience for you as we wind back the clock another decade. Number 2, changing it up a bit. Lift the cloche.
I want it.
You do this. Sorry, sorry.
The biscuit,
oh my goodness,
biscuit tin?
It's in a tin.
The biscuit tin.
It's tinned and it's a fruit cake made with lamb's navy rum.
It's an old cake.
Unopened.
No.
Right, this is even worse than the last one.
Oh, it's got that. It's okay.
This is fruitcake in a tin from the 1960s. Bought at auction. It is absolutely an antique, but in the question of how food was previously packaged and how old food can we get, what do we think about this as first reactions?
I love it. I think it's really cool, and it's basically heightened the fact we're going to ruin a moment in time by opening it.
Every time I have a fruitcake, I'm always amazed at how old it is already, because they say they last if they're preserved. The fact here, you can see how much weathering and how much time has passed by its effect on the tin. Yeah. Worries me about what's inside.
Well, the thing to think about is that tinning and canning process in itself is a preservation method. Fruitcake lasts a long time because it's dense in sugar, it's dense in fruit, which has a lots of sugar and tannins that add into it because you get all the skins of things like raisins and sultanas, and often booze. All these things, as well as driving off the moisture, mean that fruitcake lasts a pretty long time. Will it last 60 odd years for us to taste it?
We're about to find out. Are we going to get dysentery?
60 years. What year was it? What year
1960s. We don't know the exact year, but this particular brand, William Lusty Limited, were making them in the 1960s, and that's the closest time period we've got from the online auction that we bought this at.
Do we have something to get this key off?
Just for clarity, it says here on my research notes, a well-made fruitcake can last months or even years if stored properly. I don't know if 60 years is advised, but hey, we're testing it on your behalf.
How do we do this bit?
Yeah, we've got a key and it's bent.
I don't know, I've never seen, it's like corned beef, it's a key, and then you should be able to...
Twist it, roll it, turn it? No, not that.
We'll get you a tin opener. Oh, there's instructions on it.
Use the key on the bottom of the tin to roll back the strip behind this label.
You know when you go to like a vintage shop and some of the jackets have just a whiff. I'm getting that whiff from the packaging alone.
And then keep rolling it back on itself all the way around.
I'm waiting for this.
Ready?
And what is inside is a whiff of air from the 1960s.
Yeah, you just spoke over it, Ebbers. Oh dear.
Actually, no, that's just rummy and fruity.
No, it's not. It smells. It smells a bit bowely.
It's not a blown tin, so if the tin has kind of blown out, then you shouldn't open it. It's still a completely sealed tin that, whilst it is aged, it hasn't rusted.
This is what my grandparents would have been eating in their 30s.
They might well have enjoyed a slice of this during the moon landings.
Nan didn't go to the moon.
Nan didn't go to the moon.
Nah. I don't think she left the country.
Did she have a TV to watch it on?
My posh Nan did. The other Nan definitely.
My mum's family got a TV especially to watch the Queen's coronation.
Did they?
Yeah.
Other classic films of the era you might have enjoyed a slice of cake while watching? The Great Escape?
That will be what this cake does to my bum later on. It'll be an explosive escape. Oh.
But that's what I'd expect.
Let's get you a chopping board.
That smells like if you've been for a run and then you rub your fingers between your toes. I'd assume.
It is quite yeasty. It looks alright.
It smells better on the top.
Oh, that is a bit yeasty. See if you can get a slice out of it. I'd love to see the cross-section of fruit. Squeaky.
Sweet, it's halloumi cake.
This was sold at an auction house as a collector's item.
Was it really? Oh, we've ruined more history. We are obliterating it. And our guts, probably.
Take the paper off the bottom and have a nibble.
Wearing a 60-year-old coat would be a privilege. Driving a 60-year-old car,
I know.
listening to a 60-year-old track, eating a 60-year-old cake is not on that list.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, it's dry. It's very dry.
It tastes like paint.
Why is it getting bitter?
I think we should spit this out.
This wasn't a good idea.
Well, no, maybe get rid of that.
Right, we didn't swallow it. Not that that means anything.
The cake bit of it was like, it's so grainy, so dry, it lost all of its...
Again, I should stress, it is not designed to be eaten after this length of time. However, the same company are a sister company, the company that now owns things like Serene, the malt loaf.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that style of cake continues. Wedding cakes are so traditionally rich and fruity, as are Christmas cakes. In fact, in 2021, a single slice of Charles and Princess Diana's wedding cake, which at the time was 40 years old, sold for £1,850.
Wow.
Now, granted, a slightly more special occasion than, this.
Also, what rude guests, not even finishing the cake.
No.
I think quite a clever guess, take it home in a napkin and sell it 40 years later. I think if we're talking about steel cans, usually it's 3 to 5 years that you can keep them in your cupboard, and that would be the advised shelf life. With all the preservatives in the cake, the fruit, the sugar, the booze, we hoped it might be better than that. That's a taste of history that will linger.
Yeah. Did we pay?
30 quid.
No, I think we paid over. Did we pay over £100 for this?
No.
Okay, good.
Barry's closer, 37 quid.
Why did we put that? Why did we put that in our mouth?
Can we finish this one up so we can get some water?
Yeah, can we?
The good news is, we're winding back the clock another decade.
Oh, no! Are we getting older?
Yeah.
Oh.
Boys, we're getting older still.
This is great. It's my turn?
Yeah.
50s. Oh, time.
Oh.
This is cool.
Literally going back in time. There's no way this has survived.
It's from Woolworths.
Oh, you love Woolworths.
Oh, R.I.P.
Well, it still exists in some parts of the world. This is Schwartz dried thyme from the 1950s. Now, the Schwartz brand was founded even way before that, 1889, in Canada, by William Schwartz, who was the son of a German immigrant selling pure spices. They were selling way back then under the Schwartz brand, but way back to Roman times, they were drying out herbs.
So obviously drying the herb lengthens its shelf life, but not to a point where the longer you leave it though, it does lose its oomph. There's going to be no oomph in there at all.
But there's no air, there's no oxygen in there.
Well, it has been opened because we've cooked with it.
Oh, you've already cooked with it?
Oh.
Oh, so you've already ruined it. Oh, we're not going to get that satisfying feel of like tearing a hole in history.
How do you open it?
So you're very right. The whole point of drying herbs is to trap in those volatile components that give the terpenes, the smell and the flavour that we love from plants. And the act of drying it out preserves it. Don't snort it.
It, remarkably, still smells of thyme, but very, very slightly.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, a tentative tongue.
Still tastes of time.
Does it? I don't want to beat that.
Subtly.
It looks really old.
Yeah, it's lost its green. Have you got an... Ah, you have.
What?
I wanted to have a dried thyme from nowadays to
Same
taste
brand,
test.
Schwartz dried thyme, bought just last week.
Right, side-by-side comparison, because that's what you guys will want to see.
Now, bearing in mind that production methods of drying have changed radically, now they tend to use lower temperatures, sometimes even freeze drying. Remember we did the freeze-dried herbs from Jux
They were
on
great.
Food Trends?
They were great. I'm going to try some of the nowadays. There is not a huge difference.
It's there, it's just slightly more subtle.
Interesting comparison between the 1950s and the now. Now, so many consumers shop with their eyes, so it's in a glass jar. Not very conducive to keeping light out and actually preserving and protecting what's inside. It can lose its colour over time. which is why they recommend, a year or 3 maybe. Whereas the tin, you're trapping out all of that light. So obviously just sniffing and licking it off your palm isn't ideal, but what happens if you actually hydrate that dried thyme back with things like lamb fat in a lamb chop?
Same together?
Yeah, these are obviously done with your hands, aren't they?
And you're starting with the older one, 70-year-old dried herbs.
I mean, they're beautifully cooked. That is insane.
Stunning. I'm not getting a lot of time.
I'm getting a tiny, tiny bit if I search for it.
Try the newer one, again prepared the same way. And that taste of thyme.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it has absolutely dulled over time. I think we're probably all guilty of having a few herbs and spices in our cupboard that might be a bit old. I think if we all went to our parents' kitchens, we'd probably find things at the back of the cupboard that are very old, certainly well beyond their best before or shelf life. But 70-year-old herbs.
I once found a carton of Nesquik that was a year older than I was in my mum's cupboard.
The yellow one with a
Yeah,
bunny?
with the bunny on the front.
Yeah.
From 1987.
Well done, Judy.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh,
What's this?
this is Nesquik. I mean, this is even older than the one in my house.
You'll be glad to know, boys, our quality assurance checks, we thought that one had spoiled, so we weren't going to feature that
Oh,
one.
that's kind.
And you still went ahead with the cake.
Well, we hadn't opened that one.
Oh.
Oh, it's like Play-Doh now. So moisture's got in there somehow.
Yeah, it's obviously not sealed itself in and moisture's got in. It's one big block of chewable Nesquik. I wouldn't chew it.
I'm amazed that has retained some flavour and aroma to it.
Whilst little containers of Schwartz herbs are, a few quid each now, we did pay £21.36 for that 70-year-old pot at auction. Couple of top tips for people at home. Try and store your dried spices and herbs in a cool place so it doesn't get too hot, too cold. Don't put it in the cupboard above your oven or anything like that. Try and also keep it away from direct light. It's why actually the tins are better than the glass jars. And if you buy them in relatively small containers, whilst it might be slightly more expensive than buying in bulk, it means you'll replace them more often and you can use herbs and spices as they are intended, because a couple of years, 3 years or so, and they definitely lose their pungency. 70 is extreme.
I'm loving this.
Love
and
it.
What I'm more excited for is that we're about to go to the 40s.
That's how the format works. We won't back the clock another decade. The port was delicious. The cake was a mistake. The time was a bit meh. Fingers crossed for this one. 1940s.
Oh goodness! Candy-coated chewing gum.
Spearmint. That is mad. They're unopened as well.
Oh. When you have an old chewing gum with a packet that's already been opened, that sensation you get as you bite into it, which is just weak, naff, and ugh. I'm not looking forward to this.
It's actually soggy, isn't it? Old chewing gum feels soggy, doesn't it? There's no bite.
It feels soggy.
This is great though, Evers. This is great.
So, chewing gum, invented in the 1860s, but it wasn't really until the 1920s that it became a bit more commercially viable due to production methods. And these are from the 1940s, so a good couple of decades into production. And the brand Chiclets was born in the 1900s by an American company using the Mexican-Spanish word chicle, which is the natural sap from a certain tree. And it was that sap that made chewing gum. It was literally the gum of a tree. Nowadays, they use synthetic materials, but originally it was Chiclets from chicle, which was the sap of a tree.
Here, it says they retailed at 5 cents for a pack. With inflation, how much would these be worth now?
So they were 5 cents for the pack at a time, or you could buy them individually for 1 cent. If you were talking about a single piece of gum being 1 cent, then in today's money, that's about 22 cents. We've obviously paid quite a bit more for that pack now at auction because it should be in a museum, not chewed on by our normals. However, that's probably what we're going to do.
Oh, got a little bit at the bottom,
Yeah, a little,
so you can...
like a smint. There we go. I don't need two.
Oh God, they're not white.
Just to reassure you, many countries today don't put expiry dates on chewing gum because the risk of illness from chewing said gum is so low.
These days.
A bit like Tic Tacs, it might also be because they're so small they don't register as a single gram each and therefore can't be classed as a food.
Don't smell minty at all. We're going to do this.
This is 20 years older than the thing that might kill us.
There's no moisture in it, so again, there's nowhere for bacteria to survive. Whether it'll taste good, whether it'll still be
It's
spearminty.
sealed in cardboard.
This is amazing. Come on. This is history. With spearmint.
Is it still spearminty?
It's got quite a big coating on it.
Yeah. It's crunchy. It's not soggy. It's so.
Can I just have a look at it? Because I want to know what I'm eating.
I don't think you want to.
No.
Wait, have a look.
It's not black, is it?
Close.
Oh, God! I thought it was going to be white.
But that's only because you don't know what chewing gum was back then.
Yeah.
If it's made from the sap of a tree, it's not as synthetic and bleached as the material sciences that people are now working with.
This is a really odd sensation because it tastes really nice.
It does taste really nice.
I feel really uncomfortable eating it.
No, this is fine. You're not going to swallow it, are you?
Please don't. There's all those myths that say, you shouldn't swallow gum now because it's so synthetic that basically your body can't digest it. But we're arcing back to the 1940s here, so World War II. American troops would actually have it in their rations, so you'd get 600 pieces per serviceman or servicewoman per year. And it became so associated with the military that chewing gum literally became patriotic. The association between the military service people chewing gum, it carries on with that same kind of symbolism.
So considering it's made from an entirely different material to nowadays, it's so remarkably close in texture to chewing gum these days. What is your problem? You've eaten a rancid fruitcake that's going to make your spleen fall out later.
It's the same flavour as mine.
Yeah. Oh, what are you doing? No! Now you've ruined it. That's amazing that the flavour's lasted.
I'm amazed at having spent that much time in cardboard that they're still crunchy.
Yeah.
And they've got all their flavour.
However, whilst that pack only cost 5 cents back in the day, we just paid £52.49 for it at auction.
Wow, for 12 pieces.
That's a spenny bit of gum. But this is one of those things now we should put on the shelf upstairs.
Yeah.
And treasure it.
That's so cool. This is so really good, this video.
Quite literally a taste of history, a taste of what people 80 years ago were chewing on. The cake was perhaps a bit extreme, but comment down below, what's the oldest food that you have sitting in your cupboards at home at the moment? And if you enjoyed this, tasting food through the decades, give the video a like and we'll do more.
What's the oldest thing we can get here and eat?
I'm going to read the comments. Suggest stuff.
I want something BC.
Honey.